Okay guys, here's what's on the bench today. So kind of a cool one. This is a Fender Squier series made in Korea with a serial number on here, a VN4. So my best guess is going to be a 1994. And I think it's kind of cool that it's Korea, but the coolest part is it just has the Fender logo on here. Instead of saying Squier along there, it actually says Fender. Maple neck. We're looking at a couple of saddles here that have been replaced. Let's plug it in. Let's test on this thing, because I think we've got some electronic issues. So we're going to pull the strings off. Let's lift the lid. We'll spray out all the electronics. See if we can get all the dust and dirt out of there. I think I can get it working. It's just from the 90s. It needs some cleaned up, like everything from the 90s, right? Alright, so here we go. Let's pull the strings off. Best thing that came out of the 90s was some of these Fender Strats. And I've heard stories about, I think some Gibsons were really good in the 90s, and that was also in the early 2000s. Gibsons were really good. So the tuner buttons are kind of, some of these feel a little bit bent. And these are the inexpensive closed back tuners on this. A lot of guys would be like, oh, those are junk. A nice upgrade would be to swap those babies out. Maybe I'll get around to doing that on this one. Let's see. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in if I change out those tuners. I do own this guitar. This guitar will be for sale. I will put it on my website at ZIMM'sguitars.net. And I try to keep up with the website. So if you go on there, hopefully everything is current. But again, I'm just I'm a small ma and pa shop. There is no ma, but it's me and my son that run this store. Alright, let's go ahead and see if I can get all these strings to pull through. There we go. Alright, just look to see what's underneath here. We'll go ahead and we'll pull the back plate off. Nothing's really rusted too bad on these screws. A lot of times all the chrome parts will get super rusty, but I guess this one, seeing that I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona, this one has stayed sort of dry. You see a lot of those guitars that are made in Japan, and every screw is covered in rust. Luckily in Arizona, the guitars, it takes them a long time to rust. There is a little bit of rust around this one, a little. But it takes a long time out here for a guitar to start rusting. But, so that's a good thing. But some of the not so good things is that those acoustic guitars, they dry out and you get tons of top cracks. Okay, so we're looking under the back plate here. And this obviously is a plywood body So that's part of the reason that they would consider this that Squier series. It's the inexpensive series, and it's because it's a plywood body. Is that a horrible thing? They did that a lot in the 80s and the 90s. I don't know if it's a horrible thing. It doesn't bug me too much. We do have a nice big block back there, which is a nice upgrade. But again, this guitar is all stock. I think this came factory that way. So let's pull these saddles off. Let's lift the lid on this thing. Bingo. It's black, but that's okay. Who cares? Okay, you got it. Yeah, I just need a little washer going. Make it easier to find. Okay, let's take a look underneath here. Oh, one more screw. Got one more. So we're looking at inexpensive pickups, inexpensive pots. It's all original though. Nothing has been changed. Look at how that paint has faded. It's amazing. But yeah, I kind of thought this was a little bit, I thought it was a little bit better than what I'm finding out here. I thought it was kind of cool. But in a way, now I'm just seeing a plywood body. But let's keep it going. Let's not get discouraged. Let's spray some stuff out here. Sometimes I'll get a guitar in, and I like to do videos on the ones that are a little strained. You don't see them all the time, and so that's what I was thinking on this thing. And so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Okay, everything's working. This is the spray cleaner that I use. And I got those other saddles in there. And they're not a perfect match. But I think once it's all strung up and everything, it'll look a lot better than those gold ones that were in there. Then I'll have to go in and I'll have to intonate the whole guitar. But let me go ahead and put the screws back in this top, and we will move on to cleaning the neck. Alright, so I have a tip that goes on the whammy bar arm. And let's see, oh, it's got some plastic on it still. But we can at least get a tip on this thing. That'll help it look better. See if I can get it to screw on there. There we go. Oh man, that is tight. Let's loosen this up a little bit. I don't like them that tight. I want to be able to use that whammy bar a little bit. Okay. So if we learned anything on this guitar, if you guys see one in a pawn shop or somewhere and it's the Fender Squier series made in Korea, then you guys will know that it is the plywood body. And I don't know if that scares you off, it's okay. I understand. Usually the plywood bodies are heavier. This one's not that heavy. But I do understand plywood. Guys don't like them. It's not tone wood, it's plywood. Alright, I'm just going to take a shop rag, spray some of my Dunlop 65 on the rag. And seeing that this is a maple neck, you don't use the F1 oil on this neck. You just clean the dust and the dirt off there. There's fingerprints on here. So if we look at our frets, they feel pretty small. I would consider these to be tall and narrow. Is that what you would call these? I would say these are tall and narrow frets. And if we get down here into the first couple of frets, where you can actually see a lot of wear. So what I'm going to do is take my fretboard guard, and we're just going to take some 1000 grit sandpaper that I have folded over, and I'm just going to polish these frets. And this will get some of the rough spots off of them. It doesn't really level them, definitely doesn't crown them. It just sort of shines them up and just kind of cleans them up really good. And it does get out little minor imperfections that are in them. The little string wear marks and stuff like that. It'll get rid of some of that. But you don't want to really work hard and file the frets down. You just want to kind of shine them up a little bit. So 5 or 6 swipes on them. Some guys you can kind of pull it over the side like this and try to round the bottom of the fret real nicely. That works. And I can see there's a pretty nice little ding in that 11th fret right there. 10, 11, 12, 10, 10th fret. It's got a good little ding in it. It is a used guitar. There's going to be some imperfections in some of them. Definitely when a guitar is this age, you can find imperfections. But can it be a fun, playable guitar? Absolutely. Some guys, you know, again, it's all in the fingers. And some guys, hopefully, this guitar will end up being their favorite guitar. It's a budget guitar. You don't need a big dollar guitar to have a good time and to play. And this thing is prime for upgrades. If you like the look of it, if you like how the neck feels, that's the most important part. And if you don't mind that it's the plywood body, that's a big issue with a lot of guys. But I bet if you just let this, guys in the store will come in and they'll play this thing. And 99% of them aren't going to say, by sitting here playing it, you're not going to be playing it and going, oh, this is a plywood guitar, isn't it? I can hear it.
What? What?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. All right, so now I've got my StewMac fret file. And there's a rounded edge that goes towards the bottom of the neck. And I just very lightly hit the sides here. And a lot of times I don't even really do the top side, although this kind of feels like it needs it. A lot of times I just do the bottom side. Now there's guys that will mask off the whole fretboard when they do this, especially if you have a binding on your guitar. You want to get the masking tape out, you got to be very careful with it. But on this guitar, don't need to worry about it. There's no binding. It's already an old guitar. It already has wear on the back of the neck. This tool is not going to ruin your guitar. That's my front door. People coming in and out. I'm hiding back here today. Sometimes I get in moods where I just want to hide in the back room and restring guitars and work on guitars, and I let my customers kind of fend for themselves up front. Alright, see, that's feeling good right there. It's definitely not going to cut your hands. And then I've got some of these microfiber pads that you can run along the side. And this gives you a nice worn in feel when you get this guitar up in your neck, and oh yeah, it's perfect. It's not going to cut you. Pretty nice. There we go. I think she's ready for strings. Okay, so I got the strings on it, and I'm going to loosen the claw just a little bit more so that our whammy bar is just a little bit easier to move around. There you go. Let's find a tuner and put a tuner on that thing. Tune this thing up. Okay, so I got the strings on it, and I'm going to loosen the claw just a little bit more so that our whammy bar is just a little bit easier to move around. There you go. Let's find a tuner and put a tuner on that thing. Tune this thing up. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've adjusted these saddles. And unfortunately, the Allen wrench that fits in the two saddles that I just installed, it takes this wrench. And unfortunately, the existing saddles that were in here takes a little tiny bit bigger wrench. And so that's not good. We've got two different size screws holding these saddles in place. That's not good. That needs to be changed. Let me see if I've got a tip that will fit on this 5-way. So I've got a little box of them. Some of them are all different. So I'd like to put this color on there. But I think this white one looks like that. That's not a good fit either. Might not have one. You got the big old telly style thing. That fits. That doesn't look good on there though. A white one probably would be better. Not having much luck on this guitar. Although it was good that we were able to get all the electronics to work without having to do some resoldering and all kinds of stuff. Oh, there we go. White one. It's on there tight. Looks good. We got a white one on there. Alright, let's just go through it a little bit, see if these electronics are okay. been played in such a long time. It just needs somebody, a qualified player, to just put her through its paces. Yeah, the knobs are still a little bit dirty. You could take some Windex and a toothbrush, clean those up. These two bridge pieces that I put in here, they're a little bit different. And again, the screws in these are a different size than the screws in those, so that needs still to be fixed up. And again, this is just a lesson for you guys. If you find one of these Squiers series Fender Strats made in Korea, you'll know that it's a plywood body. Very cool guitar though. This could be somebody's favorite guitar. You just never know. Guys they love the old beat up Strats, and we've got one right here. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody have a great day. Happy New Year. I'll see you guys next year. Thanks for watching. Bye, guitar.